This equation contains fraction and squaring a binomial. So let's square the binomial first. So let's draw a square. The length of the square is x minus 5, and the width is x minus 5. So now let's multiply. So we're going to have x times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. Therefore, the area of the square is equal to x squared. Negative 5x and another negative 5x is negative 10x. And then positive 25. Now we'll bring it over here. So we see here 1/3 times, now we put the area here, which is x squared minus 10x plus 25. And then the plus 4 equals 15/2. Now we notice that there are two fractions. And we want to get rid of these two fractions. So we have to strategically find a number that when we multiply by the left side of the equation and the right side, the fraction disappears. Now that number is supposed to be divisible by 3 and 2, and that number should be 3 times 2, which is 6. 6 is divisible by 3 and 2. So we're going to multiply the left side by 6. We can make it 6/1. And the right side by 6 also. 6 or 6/1. Now, we are going to distribute the 6 over this 2. So distribute over 1/3 times x squared, 10x, x squared minus 10x plus 25, and then 6 times 4. But when we multiply 6 by 1/3 times x squared minus 10x plus 25, it's like we're multiplying 3 numbers. There's 3 of them. And when we're multiplying 3 numbers, we multiply the first 2 first, and then the result we multiply by the third. So we're going to apply the same thing here. So we're going to multiply 6 by 1/3 first, which gives us 2. So we'll take 2. And that result will be multiplied by x squared minus 10x plus 25. So times x squared minus 10x plus 25. And then we multiply 6 by 4. That's going to give us plus 24 equals, now 15/2 divided by, times 6 is the same as 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and then times 15, which is 45. The other way would be 6 times 15, which is 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45. I like dividing first by the denominator so that the number gets smaller and then multiply by 15. So a smaller number multiplied by 15 is easier to think about rather than multiplying big numbers. Okay, so we have now this expression here, and so we're going to apply distributive property. So we'll have 2x squared minus 20x plus 50 plus 24 equals 45. All right, so we can now combine like terms. So we'll have here 2x squared minus 20x plus 74 equals 45. Now this is a little different from the previous equations we've been solving, because in those equations we were able to get rid of the x squared or x cubed, and we'll only have either x squared or x cubed in the equation. But now we have here both x squared and x in the same equation. So when this happens, from math 2, we learned that we have to make one side of the equation equal to 0. So we are going to take away 45 from both sides. Take away 45 from both sides. And we're doing this because we want one side to be equal to 0. So we'll have here 2x squared. Okay, let me put the answer here. And maybe I'll erase this. I'll use this space. Okay, so we'll have here 2x squared minus 20x plus 29 equals 0. Now this becomes a quadratic equation where A, B, and C are not zeros. So we are going to apply either quadratic formula, completing the square, or factoring. Okay, but factoring is kind of not easy to do here with these numbers. And completing the square will work. So maybe we're going to end up with fractions. So let's just use quadratic formula. So here, the A is 2, B is negative 20, and C is 29. So we're ready to use the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So therefore we'll have X is equal to negative of negative 20 plus or minus square root of negative 20 squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is 29, all over 2 times 2. So we'll have here 40. Oh, not 40, but 20. Where did I get the 40 from? Okay, so I'll have here negative of negative 20 is positive 20 plus or minus square root of 400 minus 4 times 2 times 29 is 232 over 4. So we'll have X is equal to 20 plus or minus square root of 400 minus 232 is 168 over 4. Now let's bring this over here. So here we'll have X is equal to 20 plus or minus square root of 168 is 4 times 42. That's going to be 2 square root of 42 all over 4. Therefore, X is equal to for the numerator, we can factor out at 2. So we'll have 2 times, and this is 10 plus or minus square root of 42 all over 4. And then we can cancel a 2 from here. Okay, this becomes 1 and this becomes 2. So therefore, our final answer is, okay, we don't have to write this 1. We'll just have to write 10 plus or minus square root of 42 over 2. This is the final answer.